lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
And welcome to Indianapolis Raceway Park as we have 18 of the best Truck Series drivers signed in here tonight to take on Indianapolis Raceway Park. I am Alan Bergen, and here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Studio, just south of St. Louis, Missouri, and to my friend to the north, Jonathan Leach. How is it going, buddy?
Hey, Alan, great to be here finally back for another Racers Elite competition race here at IRP. I would say, yeah, I am up in the north, but, this is going to be a different one for me. I get to be here for the trucks, Alan. I can't be more happy to be a part of it. So I guess I would say I'm doing pretty good. We're looking forward to one here.
Well, hey, it's been a while since I got to work with you, so I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of honored I get to work with the boss man for once instead of being out on the track with you. But hey, like I said, we got 18 trucks signed in tonight. We're ready to take on IRP. But first of all, we're gonna go and take a look at our point standings right now. Is Brandon Honeycutt leads the points with 235 points. Separating him is Kinsley Smith, who's tied with the 1 point difference, John. It's a 1 point difference. And then we go back to Sean Merriman's last week's winner there at Eldora, who is at 222 points. And then Brandon Zimmerman's back there in fourth. And it's an 85-point difference. Or, I don't know. I'm tripping. Sorry. It's 200. So Brandon Zimmerman's got 246 points.
Yeah, I'm showing 246. I've got them on screen now for the championship standings. I'm showing Zimmerman, Honeycutt, Smith, Merriman, Andrew Teft, and Timothy Hoke, as well as okay, now that's the top 6. So 210 to 246 for the top group. And you were telling me that Archibald was the cutoff. He is at 171 points.
Yeah, it's a 10-point difference between Archibald and Zach Lockett. So Zach Lockett has a good race tonight, and Philip Archibald just DNFs and wins the race at the beer stand. Well, Zach Lockett will pretty much point in tonight. But, John, we're getting ready to grid, dude. So here is the way the grid's going to look tonight, John, as these guys are getting into their trucks. And I got to tell you, it was only, 0.5 of a second between what separates the field.
Yeah,
that's pretty close.
Yeah, only 0.5 of a second separate first to 17th on qualifying today. So I'm showing 18 drivers, possibly 17 drivers here for this race. You can get a great look at these gorgeous trucks right here. I'm a fan of truck racing. If I had my way, this is the season that I would race in instead of the Thursday series myself. I'm looking forward to the truck race as we're getting ready to get started. And I know you had just mentioned the grid a second ago. So trying to get that grid put up on screen here in just a moment. But hopefully we'll have just a couple seconds here before we get rolling and talk about the grid here. Alan, if you want to go through the cars, get ready to start.
All right, well, getting on the pole tonight is Matt Schlosser in that number 40 truck. Kinsley Smith to his outside. On the inside of row number 2 is the chief cook and bottle washer of Racers Elite, and that's Andrew Tuff. To his outside is Zach Lockett. On the inside of row number 3 is Truth Hoke. Brandon Honeycutt will be starting to his outside. On the inside of row number 4 is Sean Merriman. To his outside will be Brandon Sinflippo. And the inside of row number 5 will be Kirby Wainscott. To his outside will be Brandon Zimmerman. On the inside of row number 6 will be Trevor Woodward. Curtis Eckert starts 12th. Starting 13th will be Philip Archibald. Dennis Kane will start 14th. Alex Steps will be rolling off 15th tonight, and Troy Thomas on his outside in 16th. And rounding out your field would be Jason Bottoms and Noah Tansman. Looks like he did not make the call as we get ready to go. Green Flag Racing here from IRP.
Yeah, so getting ready to go Green Flag Racing here at an awesome racetrack just outside of Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis. As we're underway now for the Racers Elite Truck Series, green flag is out and Matt Schlosser takes a quick lead. The battle's behind him between Teft and Kinsley Smith into turn number 1.
Kinsley Smith is working the outside. Here comes Brandon Zimmerman in that. Or that's Zach Lockett. Sorry, that's the number 93 truck. Their trucks look all too similar. As we got a truck around, it's Kirby Wainscott, who once again is going to fry the KFC truck.
Wow, big avoidance right there by Jason Bottoms. So, and we don't want this track to fool you folks. Those front stretches look a lot wider than these corners are, and that's because that is the case. And so these corners get a little bit tough to kind of navigate through, and that's sort of what just happened right there. We're going to back it up and try to see what caused it so that you can get a better perspective here. So following on board here with Archibald and that number 99 machine, you see the 12 that's up kind of in the wall. The 4 is already around, and you're going to get some impact there. So we're going to try to follow this with Dennis Kane this time. Or not the 4, it was the 6. But I'm showing the right there. So he gets a little sideways already.
No. That's gotta hurt.
There's a nice, like a Budweiser machine. So he's on the inside, working the inside of that 65. There's the 6. And so that looks like the 1 car involved as well. Is that the 1?
That would
I
be
apologize.
The 10
That's
Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah, Kirby Wainscott. Funny how it caused we're showing him having an off-track issue well after everybody else. So he just gets loose out of the corner, and no one has anywhere to go. And that's going to be what collects the rest of the drivers here. So under our first caution of 120 laps here, out front is Schlosser, Kinsley Smith, or Schlosser, Andrew Tubb, Zach Lockett, Truth Hoke. Doesn't look like there are many pitters, only the drivers involved, being Archibald, Wayne Scott, and Woodward. You know, Alan, I said you were going to be the lead here, and I just kind of stole it. So it's back to you.
You're good. You're good. So Matt Schlosser, like Johnson said, is going to be your leader of the race right now. And you know, the trucks that were on in that accident are on pit road, getting services done, trying to avoid using that fast repair tonight as long as they possibly can. But we're on lap number 5, and John, you know, you haven't worked for me in a while, but you know, unofficially we award the first guy out the winner of the race to the beer stand. So, which I don't think you really want to win that award. You really don't want to be that winner.
Is this just something that you've made up in my absence?
It is something I've made up in your absence.
I'm gone for a measly, like, 15 days. I mean, I haven't been really gone, but... I don't know. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've been able to call a race, and I'm honestly quite excited and thrilled to be here. I got to thank the rest of the SRM team as we're getting ready to go back to green, as well as the Racers Elite administrative staff for putting on a great series. You know, and we're about to see that again here under the lights. My favorite way to race, always under the lights. Just gives you that Friday night lights feel, except it's Tuesday. Schlosser, Kinsley Smith are going to lead the field back to green. They're into the restart zone. Schlosser with a great restart. That's going to leave Smith and Lockett almost side by side. But Kinsley Smith is going to take advantage into P2. The battle is really for third out of turn 2, 98, 99, or 93 side by side.
So look, you know, as we are looking at this battle right here, as Truth Host goes to the inside of Brendan Honeycutt, Brendan Honeycutt's going to try to defend on the outside, and he's going to make it work and pull the power move on Truth Host. But here we go. Once again, Truth Host battling back on that inside line, trying to get around Brendan Honeycutt, but just does not quite have the motor, doesn't want to use up all his tires, and that's going to allow Brandon Zimmerman and Sean Merriman to kind of catch up to these guys and make it a four-way battle for that P6 position.
Right, it's worth noting that the fastest lap of the race was put down by the 93 of Zach Lockett while in a battle. That was a 22:11. But these drivers are still pretty close. That sure is his Honeycutt going around.
It looks like John, just out of the screen, he got a little loose in a big way coming on the straightaway.
So we're going to go back here and look, as you can see the damage on that right front of Brandon Honeycutt. We're going to go back, check, and see what happened here to him to get him all out of whack. Well, to the outside of that 59, yeah, it just gets loose with the air in front of that 65 truck right there.
I mean, one would argue that that would be aero loose. So far, we are under our second caution of the night, and we are on lap 11. And, you know, John, you've been away for a hot minute, but, you know, just wait until we have a check your shorts moment in one of these races.
I mean, this kind of track right here, you know, when that car gets away from you, or in this case, that truck, when it gets away from you, it's one of those moments there because you just don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you hit that inside barrier or the outside barrier too much, you could pretty much ruin your race. And, you know, Wayne Scott, Honeycutt, Archibald, Trevor Woodward, those guys have already sort of figured that out. And so we don't want that to happen too much. So I definitely can see what these guys are, or I can kind of feel their pain. If you remember my Martinsville race, you know, strong car, impact on the wall, race was over. So, I mean, this is what those guys are worried about here.
Well, and the same too, John. I'm going to ask you to do something while we're under caution. Let's bring up the weather and give an idea of what the weather looks like here in Indianapolis Raceway Park or Speedway, Indiana, as it is, 76 degrees out, 47% relative humidity, and a partly cloudy sky, and the track temperature is 78. So it's 2-degree difference between the ambient temperature and the uh, track temperature, and we got a wind at about 3 miles an hour here at about 7:30 and sometime. So yeah, while you're away, I've become the resident weatherman too. So
All right, so we got the SRM meteorologist. Maybe we'll start seeing weather posts for the races every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Maybe Alan just gave himself a new job title. I mean, that would be cool, right? And a weekly or a daily report for the race day coming up that anyone of our viewers. I mean, I'm willing to bet that our viewers, at least somebody, is at every single NASCAR or IndyCar race when they happen. At least one person that watches us is at one of those events. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. We're on lap 14, pacing around IRP right now, but getting ready to go back to racing for Schlosser, Kinsley Smith, Tefts, Lockett, and Truth Hoke. But again, thanks for joining us for this Tuesday evening. It's our pleasure to really be here. And, and it's a lot of fun, especially racetracks like this. We got a 17-car field. I'd keep calling them cars, but these are trucks. Here comes that pace truck. It's going to turn down pit road. Schlosser's going to lead the way, opting to take the high lane once again, as he's done on every start of the race. Smith going to try to catch him sleeping here, or run right up to him here into the restart zone. Don't go too quick. We've already heard some stuff about that. On the throttle, Schlosser's going to take a huge advantage. Almost half a second. Did catch the field sleeping. Smith going to try to escape for a second. Lockett, Tefts, side by side down the backstretch.
well, John, and it's funny that you mentioned the outside there, as Andrew Tefts is trying to find a hole, and it looks like the outside lane's going to be the way to go. But I want to point something out. Earlier in the season when we were at National Fairgrounds, that outside lane was working pretty good. So, I mean, maybe Matt Slauson learned something from earlier in the season to apply what he knew from at Nashville and apply it here.
Very well could be the case. We got some awesome camera set up here around this racetrack to really capture the raw energy of these trucks that they're making. All 17 drivers starting to get spread out now. Now, this is sort of what I expected to see, is the top 10 or so get spread out with some side-by-side action, more so in the back. And you're seeing that as a truck's going to loose.
Whoa,
right there. It's going to be up into the wall. I think that's Alex Tefts, the 43.
Oh, no. Tough break.
We saw it from that static camera. Now, let's take a look and see right here as he's going into the corner. He started to kind of wash up a little bit. Just, the air coming off the right side there gets loose. But what's weird is it gets that snappy loose. I'm just going to make that up right here. You're saving it to the left, and all of a sudden it breaks hard to the right. Now, and I mean, the car's turning down, so you got the wheels to the right, and then it just snaps to the right on you. So let's take a look and see his cockpit as this is happening. So he's getting loose here. Feels as he gets to the right, but he gets a lot of wheel to the right, and it just snaps right back into those other trucks. It could have been a lot worse for Alex Tefts there. Did you notice how dark it was inside of that truck?
Oh, it's very dark inside of that truck.
Very dark. So we got a handful of takers: Tefts, Wayne Scott, Dennis Kane. So that being go ahead, Alan.
I believe Noah Tansman's actually race control tonight, so.
That was my my thought process with that as well. So coming off pit road, Kirby, Wayne Scott, a couple drivers from earlier, Archibald, Honeycutt, working back to 12th, 13th. So we got 19 laps on our tires. So far, the fastest lap of the race is a 21.63 by none other than Kinsley Smith. And today's biggest mover, I'm sorry, Alan, today's biggest mover is a tie between Curtis Ecker, Troy Thomas, Jason Bottoms. Jason Bottoms has some people rooting for him, but go ahead, Alan.
I mean, we're a long way to go, but here, Kinsley Smith has been fast all season long. don't make no bones about it. He's one tough cookie, and you know, gosh, man, he's just so good. It's hard to beat him. I mean, but you know, it's like, I'm gonna use a wrestling term here. It's like going against the Roman Reigns, classic Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns storyline that we saw all winter long leading up to WrestleMania. And as we get lined up 2 by 2 behind the iRacing.com pace car, and that Matt Slosser again is gonna put his money on black and take the outside line. And I think that's a good line to have right now. Unless you're Kinsley Smith, you would love to force him down to the inside. If Kinsley Smith can just get around him and get a good green flag run.
You know, it just seems to be like that outside lane just goes a little bit better. And next chance we get an opportunity to talk to one of these drivers, we're going to ask. We're going to focus on the Kinsley Smith machine here for this restart. As Schlosser's back on the throttle again, it just seems like Smith is never ready for it. I'm not sure what the driving force behind that is, whether he's laying back and he's just getting it wrong every time, or if Schlosser can just get on the tires much more aggressively being on the high side. I'm interested to know. Schlosser looked like he got a little loose right there, but maybe not. So right behind him, single file back to Brandon Zimmerman, who's going to cut in front of the number 19 of Curtis Ecker. So really everybody's starting to spread out now. You got a truck in the wall. Don't want to talk too soon. That's the 88 of Troy Thomas in that Fanatec Chevrolet. It's going to gather it back up, and we're approaching lap 24.
That's all right. Troy Thomas is banging the boards, getting up there. There's a lot of speed up there if you know how to run that wall. And I want to note something too. It's a short track. You don't really need the aero as much as you would on a super speedway. As we are looking at a battle here, the Truth Hope, and he's looking to the inside of Sean Merriman. He's going to try. He's looking. Does he try to do anything right here? Door. He's got the door. Truth Hope gonna slide up in front of Sean Merriman in that 59 truck.
So I want to mention that these trucks look like they're going a whole lot faster than they are. I think we're topping out around 135 miles per hour. And this is a very long corners racetrack. You know, there's a lot of cornering in this track. I'm going to try to put the map on here, the map up for you. And you can see it right here. So the straightaway, really, in my opinion, is the same length as these corners are. Just about. And, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that you have two distinct corners, this would just be a circle. And it almost feels like a circle when you look at it right here.
I've driven this track before, and it feels like a circle when you're driving it. It's almost like you're always turning.
Yeah, you know, and let's take a moment. We'll go on board with Truth Hoke, just so we can see that. Because that's exactly what this track, how it sticks out to me. So in a brief moment, we got some straight wheel into it. He's already turning, keeping on the wheel, letting it roll. Getting back on the throttle when you're pretty much straight down the front stretch, which tells me that it's very, very loose. He's going to be able to drive it in a lot here on the number 19 of Curtis Ecker. Turning. It just seems like these corners take forever to develop. Just watch again off the throttle.
And
still off. Now we're back on the throttle. So just a long time to develop around these corners, especially when you're battling. Get a little loose right there with Ecker. Ecker might just have to go ahead and concede this position. I think he's going to. I take that back. His Truth got a little bit loose right there. I still think he's going to complete this pass onto the back stretch. He is. He's going to turn right there in front of him. And there you go. Single file racing across the board now.
yeah, and so you're almost going to want to play a game of Leapfrog as Matt Slosser's going to jump out to maybe a second lead, and that's what the eyeball test shows. As Kinsley Smith, I think Kinsley Smith, the way he's lagging on the restarts, tells me he's trying to save his tires. But it's really hurting that inside line. Yeah, Matt Slosser there continuing to lead. And you can see these guys are all separated. And really, these guys are gonna just really play mindful and, you know, just remind their P's and Q's, kind of get a grip on the track. But meanwhile, we want to remind everybody, as you come into the live race here, to hit the like, subscribe, and hit those bell notifications. Hit those bells ringing. That way, you can be notified every time that SRM goes on the air. You know, not just tonight, but all weekend. I've got 6 nights worth of racing here on Sim Racing Media, and we just want to thank everybody for making Racers Elite and SRM your entertainment destination here, as we are 33 laps into this 120 lap affair here from IRP.
Heard some contact right there a second ago. It sounded like with the wall. I'm willing to bet it was Trevor Woodward. And we're going to pull that up in just a minute here to see what just happened to him.
Well, the bet you're right.
You're going to drive off the corner a little too much. She sure is. And there's that inside wall that I told you about right there. Game
you just noticed it right in there.
Over. Yeah, that truck is unfortunately very done.
You know what that means? Good thing Trevor Woodward has a beer sponsor, because he just won the race at a beer stand. That I'm quite sure.
All right, I'm so got all these drivers coming down pit road now. Everybody's gonna jockey for some tires right here. Every right side's coming up, coming down. Anyone not going full, everybody's going back up once again. So everybody's getting tires, fuel, everything in between, except for a few fellas that stayed out. So Kane, looking for track position. Schlosser coming back down with 4 fresh tires. Smith, and you know what? Sean Merriman does not take 4 tires. Looks like he just takes a lot of fuel in right sides. Could that allow that machine to drive better?
It could. So let's do this, John. Okay. I'm a curious party. I gotta know. So, if we have a free minute, we're gonna bring Kinsley Smith up to the booth.
Well, this is your free minute.
Kinsley Smith, it's John and Alan in the SRM booth. You got a copy?
How's it going?
Hey, so look, right now, you know, you're kind of deep in the field. Well, you're just positioned. What's your strategy on the restarts? Because it looks like you're kind of laying back a little bit.
Just really waiting on the leader. I have to wait on Schlosser on the high side, and him being on the leader being on the high side coming to these restarts, it's kind of tricky because their car is straighter than yours is when you get to the restart box. So it's just trying to get that timing down, and just make sure I don't pass him. So just trying to stay back a little bit so I can watch him.
Well, look, man, we got about 10 seconds. We're gonna get you back down, and good luck, and we'll hope to talk to you on the other end.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry to cut you off there, John. We had to be quick.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, was get us back to get him ready for racing here. But that answers our question. So the high side is much, much preferred to the low side. Now, I bet that's not the same if you're in row 3 like Kinsley Smith. Let's see what the Teft and Dennis Kane duo can get. And Dennis Kane does not go. Backs the whole inside line up the high lane of Teft and Schlosser. Get out and go. Sean Merriman, and now Kane is going, but everybody is right behind him. They got a car going around. Truth Hope.
Oh, 2 cars. Curtis Eckrick's in there too.
Looks like they're going to keep it green right here. We're going to let these guys race. Schlosser has made it around Teft to the lead. Kinsley Smith and Alex Teft falling back on older tires. I expected the older tires to work a little bit better than this, but perhaps not.
Alex Teft losing wholesale positions on the outside as the inside is going by him on a freight train. Brandon Sanfilippo, the next car to... Whoa! Zach Lockett gets a little loose there. Oh, boy. Here, Alex Teft's going to put it in the wall there just a little bit. Brandon Sanfilippo's going to come around. take the slide for life, and he's going to stop it. And there's another truck too. We're going to get him pointed in the right direction. We're going to stay mean and green.
Okay, race control ready to see some of these laps start to tick on here as we're on 42 of 120. Schlosser's driven away by a second and a half over Teft. Sean Merriman's making the right side onlys work for him here. It was a 995 pit stop. He is in the top 3 as Smith is looking to the inside of him right now, trying to hang on to the high side, but I think he's going to concede that position to be prepared for a siege from the 65 as caution's out again. Possibly Zach Lockett.
Tough break for Zach Lockett there. He brings out caution number 5 in lap 43.
Looks like he's going to try to make a pass here on the 43. Just gets loose, gets sideways. Man. I'm kind of surprised that caution came out for that one, considering what happened for the other ones. But, you know, he did kind of get his nose turned back up with some cars still coming. Our vehicle still on the way. So that's going to be caution number 5, brought out by Zach Lockett. A few other drivers come down to pit. I'm surprised to see Alex Teft not come. I'd be surprised if he does not come down, as those old tires did not work for him. And it really didn't work so much for Dennis Kane either.
No, it sure didn't. And John, you know, I hate to say this, but if you're on old tires and you're on a short track, you're essentially a rolling roadblock.
It's definitely tough on the older tires for certain.
But nonetheless,
so they've got 4 tires. They got 1 fast repair, 65% fuel. They get a green white checker. If I'm those guys, I'm coming down pit road. I don't know what I don't know. I'm not driving. So that's what I've got to mention. I don't know what the racetrack feels like. Maybe you have something else that caused him to go backwards, and it wasn't really a tire thing.
Well, I tell you this right now, Jason Bottoms got a fan cheering on Jason Bottoms. He can do this. Thomas S. is cheering on Full Send Esports, the 40, 56, 57, and 93. And, you know, John, I'm going to mention this also in the YouTube chat. If you have a favorite driver and you want to get them some screen time, let us know who you're rooting for, and we will do our best to shout them out to you and get them some air time, and not air as in skateboard at the X game, it's air.
I mean, that would be entertaining.
Not beneficial though.
All right, so you know the pace lights are out here on this Chevrolet. It looks like it's going to come down pit road. Schlosser's got a new guy to the inside here, Andrew Teft. We're going to see how Teft can handle the inside here and see if he can stay side by side with Schlosser. How hard are you willing to go on that if you're that inside guy? It's because if you're going to try to win this race, you're going to have to get on the throttle the same way as the outside, because I'm thinking there's going to be a green-white checker. Andrew Teft does not get going. In fact, Sean Merriman is also going to get around on the high side, so you might even want to restart 3rd or 4th in this scenario, as now the running order is Schlosser, Merriman, Teft, Smith, Zimmerman.
Yeah, the outside line definitely looks like it's the way to go. And that might even change towards the latter part of the races, as we are 2 by 2 from about Alex Teft on back, as you know, Teft, Honeycutt,
big wiggle for the Honeycutt machine.
And Lockett are trying to make some recovery runs, and Zach Lockett is trying to stay ahead of Philip Archibald in the points. So Lockett really needs to start making some moves, as we're approaching lap 50. And Brandon Honeycutt is underneath Zach Lockett there, and he'll fall back in line. He won't try to challenge it this early in the race. Ooh, hang on. As, wow, Brandon Zimmerman just had a check your shorts moment. Dennis Kane working his outside, and Brandon Zimmerman finally going to get a spot in line. Here comes Brandon Zimmerman. And we come down a little bit further. It looks like Zach Lockett there on the outside. Kinsley Smith.
Into the wall
At a
right there,
distance.
trying to really get a good drive off, and he's going to be into the wall. He's going to lose more time to the leader. He was a little faster the lap before, but this time definitely going to be a bit slower getting into that wall, and going to allow Schlosser to kind of drive away from him a little bit more.
Yeah,
Not that much slower. So he might have found something driving all the way up by the wall here.
Kinsley Smith. So that's about a second and a half right now that he's behind Matt Schlosser. Coming down the front straightaway. And so I think we're now into a run too, John, where we can kind of, you know, get a fuel run in and see if there's a green flag pit stop in our future.
I don't think so. No, you know, the only driver maybe could be Dennis Kane if this goes all the way to the end, but 65% fuel, it's not a very long racetrack. I hate to be the guy that tells you that I disagree with you, but you know, we don't even have a mile-long racetrack here.
I think it's like 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah,
shy of a half mile.
At 3/4 of a mile, we got it on screen right now. I don't think that green flag pit stops are going to come into play, even for Dennis Kane, who was last on pit road, lap 19. Andrew Teft, I guess it's plausible. He hasn't pitted yet. But, you know, I think these guys can do about 60 on a mile and a half. However, Andrew Teft might need to pit for tires after we just saw that wiggle. So, that being said, I'm thinking 65% he probably can get to around lap 90. And I expect that we'll have another caution if he's not the caution before then.
Well, you definitely don't want to be the caution.
No, not at all.
You don't want to be the caution. But, I mean, Dennis Kane slowly closing in on him. And is this the time that you think that Andrew Tuff would try to relax a little bit and just kind of let the racetrack come to him and start racing the racetrack?
Well, that's what you have to do when you're out here this long on older tires. But, you know, he's really doing an excellent job. So he's sitting in 5th. He's running comparable lap times to the leader on much older tires. I'm very confused what the strategy here is. But, you know, it's obviously working for him. So during his practice, perhaps he noticed that staying out longer was better for his driving style. And if that's the case, then more power to him. And he's doing an excellent job hanging in P5 just in front of Dennis Kane as he's starting to pull away from Dennis Kane again. And Kane might just be kind of out of luck. So we're going to go a little further back in the field here to Troy Thomas, who's having a quiet but great night, up 7 positions in that number 88 Fanatec machine. We saw him spin earlier, but he's recovered quite nicely. And the moment we talk to him, he slams into the front stretch wall.
Yeah, and, you know, that's the other thing too, is Troy Thomas, to me, John, is like one of those guys that are, he's like a sleeper truck where it's the end of the race and he's right there. It's like, where did he come from, right? So he's like I said, he's one of the sleeper type trucks, and he just flies quietly under the radar. We don't mention him much, and he doesn't make a lot of noise early on in the race, but he's always there at the end. As Philip Archibald gets a little out of shape coming out of the corner, and that's going to allow Troy Thomas to get underneath him and make that pass, and that's going to be for 8th place.
So starting to see some passing, you know, as this race goes on, which is, it's nice to see. As the tires start to wear out, passing comes back into play. As you see a gaggle of machines just behind Thomas, Ecker, Archibald, Truth Hoke, Zach Lockett. And these guys are likely to start getting racy as we're just past the halfway point here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, or Lucas Oil Stadium, which is really, you know, Alan Liam and I were here last year, just about this time, I also got to decide if I'm going to go meet up with him at Indy rather soon.
You gonna watch Kyle Larson win in the Indy 500?
Ooh, I think
Possible?
you're right. I think you're right about that one.
Hey, look, I watched that open dust, and the fact that he's a rookie and ran with the veterans, is we have a truck get a little out of shape, and that looked like Zach Lockett there. He ran second quickest in the veteran test, and he's a rookie. I mean, that tells me you can hop into anything and make it go fast.
Well, you know, that's what Jeff Gordon said. You know, that to be the best, I think it was Marco Andretti, you just got to be able to win in everything. And so far, he's shown that he can win in the top tier series in NASCAR, and then he can win in the Spirit of the Outlaws, you know, dirt racing. He hasn't quite shown on the IndyCar stretch, and I don't think that the 500 is good enough. I think he needs to win on a road course also for those guys, you know. But this will very well cement himself as a top 10 all-time driver. But he's going to need to get some more championships. Unpopular opinion.
Well, Brandon Sanfilippo there in that number 6 spot is trying to catch Alex Tuff, or Andrew Tuff in a number 98 Curb Records Toyota. And to your point there, John, I highly agree. I got to watch Kyle Larson win the 2021 Prairie Dirt Classic. First ever World of Outlaws late model start for Kevin Rumley. And he's like, look, man, like, I don't know if I'm good, I don't know if I'm bad, but we're going to give it a shot. So, you know, just to watch Kyle Larson just hop in anything and make it win.
So we've got our first real good green flag run right here. I didn't mean to step away from Larson, but it's worth mentioning. So Schlosser's pulled away 2.2 seconds over Kinsley Smith, who's the only driver that seems to be able to compete with him right now. And then Zimmerman is almost 3 more seconds behind him in the Planet Fitness 65. And you just got another 2 seconds, another 1 second for the top 5. Now you do have a battle for 5th here between Teft and Sanfilippo. These guys have been kind of working on each other, or I should say Sanfilippo has been working on getting to 5th, and Andrew Teft just doing a masterful job trying to hold him off.
Well, Brandon Sanfilippo finally got around Tuff, and, you know, Brandon Zimmerman, I think he's trying to tell me something, that I should probably start going back to the gym. Ain't been there in a while.
And
Sure.
we've got trouble. Alex Teft, Kirby Wainscott, Brandon Honeycutt, Ruth Hoke, and a smorgasbord of others. Try to see what happened here. Trying to follow with Alex Teft here, and just stuff happens in front of him. Ruth Hoke, Alex Teft just comes to a stop. Oh, Truth Hoke clips Honeycutt. All right, so you see right here, Honeycutt, Truth Hoke, you got the 99 right there. We'll focus. Okay, so Honeycutt thinks he's clear. He's not. Oh, big contact right there. Who was that went flying off into the corner there?
I have no idea.
Either way, the car that went flying, I think, might have suffered some huge damage. Jason Bottoms.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, he's just trying to avoid this mess right here in front of him. Comes out of the corner. No, gets clips him there, just shoots down. Oh, wow, look at that. Just narrowly avoiding that inside barrier right there. That's probably going to allow that truck to live the fight for the rest of the race. So heads up by Jason Bottoms, trying to stay out of trouble as we're under our 6 caution, lap 75 of 120 after a long green flag run. I have to say I expect all these drivers to come down and pit now, as what happened to Matt Schlosser?
I think the scoring might be a little backwards.
I think you might be right, but Schlosser is shown behind Smith and Wayne Scott.
Might be an iRacing scoring glitch. Here we go. There we go. I was gonna say, it should wave Kinsley by Wayne Scott.
Ah, okay, yes. I see. And you can see Schlosser moving up to get his position back. So we just had a timing scoring error here. And that looks like it'll smooth itself out.
Or maybe not.
Or not.
That's weird.
I'm very confused.
I am too.
I don't know how Kirby Wayne Scott got up here.
Well, nonetheless, we're back green. Kirby Wayne Scott is being scored as the leader.
I don't think that's going to last, as the field's going to come right around him. Looks like he's going to give, okay, he's going to give the positions up. He's going to restart as the leader, but we got a car sideways back here with, I'm not sure, Troy Thomas sideways and a couple others. I think that caused a mess right here. It seemed like he was just giving the position back up. I'm curious to know what happened there. We may not get an answer, but I think Jason Bottoms gets sideways on this restart here.
Yeah, here.
And just underneath Alex Teft gets loose. A little bit of help, but everybody else seems to avoid him.
Not too much help from his friends, though.
I feel like that was rather tame right there for the turnaround. So probably get back to going racing here around lap 82. Might be a good time to call on Matt Schlosser.
We can do that. Maybe. Unfortunately, John, you're not going to get your wish because he is not in here.
Oh, darn. I mean, we can check Brandon Zimmerman. I believe he's available.
Yes. All right. We got Brandon Zimmerman in the booth. Brandon, is John and Alan in the SRM booth. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good so far, man.
So look, you're running P3 in that Planet Fitness Chevrolet. What's your strategy so far getting around this racetrack?
I'm just being careful right now. I didn't practice very much this week, and I am shocked that I'm in P3. I'm just trying to be careful on entry because it's very easy to self-spin, and just keep tiptoeing around here and try to get out here with the top 5, man.
Yeah, it looks up here like it's all about throttle control right now.
It really is, man. Exit is super sketchy, but for me, my brake bias is so low, I just gotta be careful not to self-spin going in the corner. But it's all about just throttling the pedal and being careful.
John, you got any questions for Mr. Zimmerman?
You know, I guess as we're getting ready to go here, would you prefer to be on that outside lane or inside lane?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Outside lane. Yeah, I feel way better up there. Definitely.
All right. Well, it's good to talk to you. You got just under 40 laps to go here to wrap this one up. Let's see if you got something for these top 2, and I'm sure there'll be some fireworks by the end of this one.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
See ya.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to go green flag racing here as these guys are getting doubled up behind the iRacing.com pace truck. Brandon Zimmerman is on the inside of that second row. He would prefer the outside line, as we heard in that interview, but Sean Merriman is on the outside there, going to restart P4. Kinsley Smith finally got to that outside line as he is taking over the lead. And John, this is where he's going to be very, very tough. So watch out for Kinsley Smith. in that Napa 15 truck.
You know, the roles are reversed here. You know, he mentioned being not able to get on the throttle right away, so I'm curious to know how Schlosser does on this inside lane, if it really is just the outside, as they're pretty straight when Smith gets on the throttle, and even Schlosser has trouble on that inside lane. Doesn't hold any better on that inside lane than any other driver. Outside of him is Sean Merriman. He's side by side down the backstretch. I think he's going to get that position, and he's going to have to chase Kinsley Smith down the hard way.
And Sean Merriman's going to try to block going out of the corner and down the front straight. He's going to get loose.
Yeah, gets loose, hangs on to it. It's going to lose several positions here. Perhaps more than several by the end of this one, as Teft is going to get around him, and Curtis Ecker's trying to do it. And Dennis Kane getting loose right there, as well as the 12 of San Filippo.
San Filippo
Teft getting loose.
Whoa.
Teft's going to get bumped into. The 12's going to go around. Truth Hope around.
Hang on. Oh.
And Truth Hope disappeared. I wonder if he just incidented out.
You got any recommendations on a chiropractor? Because that one hurt my back.
Yeah, that one was rough. I think Truth Hope has just hit his incident limit as well, as we're in our 8th caution, lap 86.
Ouch. I'm not even driving the truck, and that one hurt my back. So. Lap 86, and right now. So now we answered our question. So I think the outside line is the preferred line, and they're going to choose it every time. As right now we got Troy Thomas. He's in the pits here on lap number 86. And that's our 8th caution tonight. So, John, we're on a short track. It's going to be bent sheet metal and hurt feelings tonight, I'm sure. I mean, we're on the north side of 8 cautions. Do we get to number 10 plus, or do we have another long green flag run to the end?
Not totally sure. I think we're going to fail to finish this one under green. I'm not expecting to be a bunch more cautions, but we never know.
Never know. You know, I finally got my base sunburn today too. While we're under caution, John, I'm one of those people that get sunburned and stay sunburned. So whenever most people say, "Hey, I'm gonna go work on my tan," I go, "I'm working on my sunburn." So we got a few minutes here. Running order real quick is Kinsley Smith is your leader right now. Matt Schlosser is in second. Brandon Zimmerman in that beautiful, beautiful Planet Fitness Chevrolet. He's running P3. P4 is Andrew Teft. Sean Merriman is in 5th. Curtis Ecker is in 6th. Dennis Kane is in 7th. Alex Teft is in 8th. 9th is Zach Lockett, and Kirby Wainscott is in 10th position. So right now, with 3 races left, I mean, Zach Lockett, I feel, needs to find a way to put some distance between him and Philip Archibald to kind of keep that playoff spot in his reach.
Yeah, you know, I just kind of think that that high side is just too difficult to really overcome on these restarts, and you're going to need green flag racing if you're going to attempt to catch them.
I think you're right. But I see weird things happen on short tracks. I mean, anything could happen. But we're getting doubled up here behind the iRacing.com pace truck as Matt Schlosser is forced down to the inside lane. Kinsley Smith is going to go ahead and take that outside line. And if you're Andrew Teft, you're sitting in the catbird spot. Look, if you're on the outside line, you're sitting good anyways. That outside line clearly has the advantage over the inside. all day long. As it looks like field is rolling down the back straightaway, or through turn 4, I should say. Through the Geico restart zone. Kinsley Smith takes off, and the inside line still cannot get going. Slosser going to try to jump out to the outside line of Andrew Tuff. Brandon Zimmerman trying to take that Planet Fitness 4 to the front, and he is going to be P3. Here comes Andrew Tuff trying to power move his way back through. These guys rocket down the back straightaway. Here comes Sean Merriman in that number 18 truck. He's on the inside of Curtis Eckert. He's going to lose wholesale positions. I wouldn't even say wholesale. He's going to lose one. Ooh, we're side by side. Sean Merriman gets in front. Ooh, we got a truck around. Saves it. Nope, he's going to let it run. 9th caution of the night comes with Kirby Wainscott there in that number 10 truck. All right, so here's Sean Merriman. Oh, it's Curtis Eckert we're looking at there, and the number 19 truck there. As we are under caution for the 9th time tonight, and as we are lap 94 of 120, Andrew Tutz is finally going to go into the pits. Dennis Kane is in also. Brandon Sanfilippo is going to find himself in that 10th position, rounding out the top 10. Sean Merriman is 3rd. Fourth, Kurt Eckert. Man. So right now, Andrew Tuft and Dennis Kane finally hit pit road. And you gotta wonder if Matt Slosser has anything for Matt Slosser's got to have something for Kinsley Smith. He's got to. He's a pretty good racer there. And I got to wonder, too, Brandon Zimmerman should have enough track to get back up there to, back up to the lead. These guys are getting lined up behind the iRacing.com page truck. Getting ready to go double fire here, or double file in the next lap or so. It appears that Jason Bowden's lost internet at his house. I hope he does not have Spectrum.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for him. Yeah, I mean, really not running a bad race. Had some things happen here and there, but overall, a really good effort by him. That also worth mentioning. So I believe that's 14 drivers we have left in the race for about 24 laps. I'm thinking we're going to get some green flag racing on the way out of here. I
think we will too. I could agree more. Cannot agree more. Anyways, as we get lined up behind the iRacing.com page truck, I'm sure we're going to go 1 to green sooner or later. I tell you what, John, I'm looking forward to Thursday night, and that is at Watkins Glen with the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. That's going to be a fun one. I don't know if you've been practicing, but I've been running a few laps.
Yeah, I haven't yet, but I'm pretty confident at that racetrack. It's been a hot minute. I got to figure out my shift work through the S's. It's been a while. But we're going to see how that goes.
Well, tomorrow night, with Mike Demoney at the call, the Racers Elite Xfinity cars are going to head to Pocono, the Pocono Mountains. The tricky triangle, as Kinsley Smith takes the outside once again, as the trucks get lined up behind the iRacing.com pace truck. I believe it's a Chevy Silverado. As they work down the back straightaway, and They're going to give Kinsley Smith control of the field. Smith, Schlosser, Merriman, Zimmerman is your top 4. Teft, Eckert is your top 6. We get ready to come down for the green flag. Kinsley Smith on the button, and we are green flag racing. Wow. Schlosser's trying to keep up with it, but he can't make it work. Schlosser on the inside, still trying to find his spot in line. As he gets finally going to get slid up in front of Sean Merriman. Sean Merriman, I don't know what it was. I think last week's win at Eldora kind of gave Merriman a boost of confidence.
Yeah, you know, he's running a really good race. He's been solidly in the top 4 all race long. You know, trying to hold back a hard-charging Brandon Zimmerman, who's going to really drive it into the corner to be side-by-side. Is that going to allow him to get a good run off? He's going to stick in the throttle. He's side-by-side down the front stretch still, but not really with the preferred position. I almost think you want to be on the high side to try to make these passes as Schlosser is slowly trying to chase down Kinsley Smith. I think that's going to be a battle to watch as these laps tick off. But these two guys are in it, and they're both hard charging for third place. Better look in the mirror, though, as Curtis Ecker is on the way.
Curtis Eckert's running a high line. Whoa!
Oh, they're going to touch.
Oh, no! No, no! Save it, save it, save it, save it!
Oh, my God, there goes Zimmerman.
No. Oh.
That's going to put Sean Merriman now to the lead. We just saw that happen. Schlosser touches. Just touched Kinsley Smith. They both spin. Zimmerman tries to avoid him, goes way low, and the whole complexion of the race has just changed. The way you mentioned, it's a short track.
It's a short track.
So see it right there, just a little tiny tap. Schlosser tries not to slam into him. Zimmerman tries to avoid it. The top 3 erased from contention here in this one.
Oh, man. Excuse me, John, while I pick my jaw up off the floor.
Wow, yeah, no, that just completely changed this race. Completely changed it.
Oh, man. Well, a great break for Sean Merriman. A tough break for if you're a guy named Kinsley, Brandon, or even Matt. Well, even Matt only just lost 2 positions, though, as he recovers back to 4th. That's still a tough break. I mean, Matt's still got time to get back up there, and I firmly believe that he can. But if you're a guy named Sean, that was the greatest break ever. You might as well just won the Powerball. $16 to go. I would be eager to say that it's possibly go time. Here was 16 to go.
Oh, it's definitely go time. These drivers have got to go now to finish this race. We're at 10 cautions. I dare say we're not going to have another. I think it's going to be green this way out. And we're going to be in for a treat now with 3 different drivers. Look who's back up to the top 3 after having a tough night. Alex Teft. Just tough race, but, you know, he stayed in it. Really great-looking Toyota Home Depot 43 machine. That is just one of the best paints I have ever seen. I'm just going to be honest right there.
Throw it back to Tony Stewart and his JGR days.
You know, that's about what I'm gathering from that one, honestly, myself.
Like, I would even dare say he's going to throw it all the way back to maybe 2003-ish, 2004-ish, into the prime of his career. Anyways, we got 15 to go, and this is going to be almost like a B main. These guys are going to be dog fighting for every position that they can. And dare I say, it's going to be like jet planes in the gymnasium here as we are getting ready to get doubled up. The iRacing.com lights are out on the pace truck. And Alex Teff's scrubbing off them tires and getting ready to go. Because I can tell you right now, he's behind Curtis Eckert, John, and Curtis better take off because Alex Teff is going to, whether or not Curtis does take off or not.
Well, we're going to find out with 14 laps remaining. This race has completely changed. The 18 to 19. Well, I guess Schlosser's actually still there. I thought he was way out of it. But here comes Sean Merriman. And showing once again, the high lane is just where you want to be. He shoots out of a cannon right here. Schlosser stuck side by side with Curtis Ecker. Gonna be a little bit of a wiggle right there for Schlosser. Still side by side. Ecker doing an excellent job on the inside right here. Really stopping Schlosser from getting the drive off the corner that he's looking for. I think he likes to turn down into the front stretch. He's just not able to do it with Ecker right there. Merriman's hoping he can hang on and keep doing this for another 12 laps as Teft is right there. They're going to be some sideways trouble. There goes the 98 to the inside. He's off the racing surface, still green. Tough break for the 98. Here comes Zimmerman trying to make those positions back. Looking to the inside of Troy Thomas to get that 5th place position back.
Don't hit the lock alarm just yet. Here comes Brandon Zimmerman on the inside. And that is Troy Thomas that he's battling. He's going to try to slide up. Here comes Kedley Smith. He's going to try to make a 3 wider. Either that or take a 2-for-1 special on the inside.
And up front, Schlosser's going for the pass on Merriman. Merriman going to try to
pull the power move.
Yeah, Merriman's going to hang tight on the outside. Can't get the pass completed this time. Trouble back there. Dennis Kane right in front of him. Zach Lockett. That almost went 4 wide. The 93 is involved there as well. Again, that's Lockett back to side by side up front. Battles all over the racing surface right here. Schlosser just can't seem to make this pass on Merriman. Merriman not giving an inch. And I mean, he can't. There is no choice here. He's going to have to, and Schlosser's going to drive Merriman up the track for the advantage. It's going to get the pass. Here comes Curtis Ecker. What does Merriman have down the front stretch? Still managing to be side by side. Oh, and now Merriman's going to be in the wall. That was his opportunity. 3 cars go by. Zimmerman gets by. Teft in the wall right behind him. Single file down the backstretch. Curtis Ecker, what does he have for the leader? What about Zimmerman, who's come through the field?
Wow. Here comes Curtis Ecker going to the inside of Zimmerman. Can't make that move. As he is all over, maybe less than a half a second behind Matt Schlosser. 7 to go. Kedley Smith on the inside of Alex Teff trying to maybe pull a slide job. And,
that thinks better of cutting off Alex Teff in that scenario, because that's exactly what he was going to do. Teff didn't give him any room, and Smith thought better of it. Zimmerman's got it around Ecker. Zimmerman trying to make something happen here on Schlosser in turns 3 and 4. Schlosser going to slip. Do his tires have any goodie left after that slide that he had? Zimmerman nearly into the wall. Was not faster last time by. We're going to see this time what kind of speed that he has. Schlosser was at 21.63. Zimmerman 21.87. So losing ground. Behind them, Ecker, Smith closing in on a hurry. Merriman holding on to P5. Down the front stretch, Zimmerman almost in the wall again.
Come on. Come
last
on,
time they were tied. Tied for speed last time around. Zimmerman in the wall, Schlosser in the wall.
I think Zimmerman's coming. He's got this. Here comes Kedley Smith
big
on the
hiccup
inside
for
of
Curtis Ecker. Smith side by side with him now. Just might be a little too late for Zimmerman. Smith not accepting any worse than third with 3 laps to go. He's going to clear Ecker. Right behind them, we've got Dennis Kane, Alex Teff just being passed by Kane. Further back, a battle for the 10th place. He's got Zach Lockett and Archibald back to the front. Zimmerman still trying to get there.
I think the sands of the hourglass are running out quite quickly for Brandon Zimmerman. as he is trying everything in his bag of tricks to even get caught up to Slosser. We're coming to white flag, buddy. Oh man, it's gonna take a small miracle right now. He's got to do something pretty dramatic, John.
Down the backstretch. He's going to have to drive in hard right here. Oh, he's going
This
to.
is a shot.
He's going to have to touch him. What's he willing to do it? Oh, he's just going to miss it. Schlosser's going to survive to win here tonight under the lights. Zimmerman's P2 had an opportunity. He wasn't willing to punch Schlosser for the win. He was looking for only the nudge, and it was by a hair. By a hair for Zimmerman. We're going to get in close here and watch this final lap briefly. So Zimmerman down here to turn one, close. Right down the backstretch. I mean, and he had to drive in really hard right here to give himself an opportunity. You know, he's right there. Just a little short.
You know, and John, that's the thing. The easy thing would have been to just turn him and drive off into the sunset, but he knew he wasn't going to be able to pass him cleanly, so you know, it's just one of those deals where he's like, you know, I can't pass him clean. I'd rather run second than to wreck him.
You know, and that's really respectable. You know, and Smith, who got around Curtis Ecker, Zimmerman just hang into it, watching that white flag one last time while drivers are getting ready to stage for interviews. We're going to have to kind of be a little quick through the interview process, but we'll be sure to talk to your top three. You can see that last second move there. He tries to just give him a little bit of a nudge, but doesn't want to send him. Just, you know, heads up racing. Great way to finish under the lights here. So, Alan, if you'd go ahead and bring in Schlosser for us, or if he's available at this time.
He's up here. So, Matt, this is Alan and John in the SRM booth. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Congratulations on that win, buddy. You, I don't dare say it, but absolutely survived that one.
Yeah, you know, first off, I'm really sorry for making contact with Kensley. I didn't mean to touch him at all. I went low to try to get alongside him, and I think he came a little bit, from my perspective, came lower to defend, and I should have not drifted up into him. I was driving off the turn thinking he was going to run the top line, and I think he came down, and yeah, so I'm just really sorry. I would much rather have raced him without making contact, and I feel bad because he's obviously full-time. I'm part-time. The last thing I want to do is mess with the points like that and do things like that. So yeah, just wanted to say that, but yeah, it was definitely a survival race, that's for sure, to your point.
So, you know, so now at the end of the race, you had Brandon Zimmerman all over you. Did you feel like that there was a chance that he could have gotten to you and tried to move you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could tell he was getting close, and you know, I think it would have been fair for him to, if he could get to my bumper to move me for the win. That's for sure. But you know, I appreciate him running clean there, and yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking. I think a few more laps he probably would have had me. My tires were pretty used up from hard racing and locking him up in the spin with the 15 car. So yeah, it was a little nervous there at the end.
All right, Matt. Well, before we get you out of there, is there anybody that you would like to thank to help get you here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. You know, thanks to my team, Full Send Esports. Appreciate them having me on the team. My teammate Zach was the one who invited me, so I appreciate that. Thanks to you guys at SRM, and thank you to the league and the admins, to Andrew and all the guys who make it happen. Appreciate them having me, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Matt. Well, have a good night and celebrate your team, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, take care. Thank you.
All right. And we got Brandon Zimmerman in the booth now.
Brandon Zimmerman, what a wild run. You know, the last 12 laps trying to chase down Matt Schlosser. You almost get there into the last corner. Tell me if my thoughts were right. You didn't want to punt him, just give him a nudge, and that was the inch of difference in that last corner.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ben. I didn't want to wreck him. I didn't want to put him in the wall. I was just trying to break his momentum coming out the corner. I just couldn't quite get there without wrecking him. So I don't want to get one that way. So it was a good battle there.
It was an excellent battle, and kudos to you for coming through the field after the mishap with Schlosser, Kinsley Smith, and you, and all three of you guys managed to get back to the top three. Absolutely astonishing to me, and I just said the word I don't like, but just astonishing that you all three of you guys got back up there. Slightly different order, you know, but all three of you got back to the top three. Really excellent job. The floor is yours if there's anything else that you would like to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised I was able to get back through there. I feel bad for Kinsley. He took 2 tires, made a good strategy call, and I think he would have had that race if he hadn't have gotten hit. So I feel bad for my teammate, but I'm glad that me and him were able to follow each other through the field and at least get a podium out of it.
Well, great job finishing P2. Looking forward to seeing you for the next race on Tuesday, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, buddy. You have a good one.
Kinsley Smith, it's Alan and John in the SRM booth. How's it going, buddy?
How's it going?
Well, congratulations on that recovery there after the contact with Matt Schlosser. I mean, what was your mindset as you're coming back through the field? Did you think you were going to run out of laps, or did you think you might have a chance to get up there?
I was hoping I could get up there. I didn't necessarily believe that I could get fully all the way back up to first, but just ran as hard as I could. Saw there was about 15 laps left coming to the green, so figured tires didn't matter, so might as well just drive the heck out of it and try to get back up there.
Well, you did make one heck of a recovery run. But before we get you out of here, Kinsley, and is there anybody that you'd like to thank to help get you here tonight?
Of course, my wife and my daughter for supporting me and watching these, and Andrew for putting on the league, you guys for broadcasting it for us, and of course my team, Driving Extreme Inc. Getting better every week. Everybody's pushing through, and even during some of these weird races where there's a bunch of cautions and a lot of us get caught up in it, we keep our hopes high and just keep on going.
All right, Kinsley. We'll see you on the next one, and have a good rest of your season.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and that was Kinsley Smith, the driver of the 15 Napa Chevrolet. And John, I know you have somewhere you got to be, so we're gonna quickly run through the finishing order.
At this race, what an excellent show. If it's a predecessor to the XMS Xfinity Series, it's about to go live in just a couple moments. It's going to be another great evening. You know, I had a lot of fun with this one. Schlosser, class of the field, wins the race. Brandon Zimmerman had a shot at it right at the end of Kinsley Smith. Just, again, all three of those guys, I thought they were out with 15 to go. They all got back to the top three. Curtis Ecker, Sean Merriman, can't say anything but great things. They weren't quite the class of the field like the three in front of them, but they stuck it out and had a great opportunity at the race win as well. Dennis Kane and Teft, 6th and 7th. 8th is Troy Thomas. Honeycutt is 9th. Expecting a little bit more from him in this race, but that's because Honeycutt is just so common for him to be up front. Finishing 9th is kind of a defeat, for him. Zach Lockett having a rough race in the number 93 Toyota. Brandon Sanfilippo is 11th. 12th is Archibald Kirby Wainscott, 13th. Andrew Teft, rough rough way to end his race. Ends up sideways. Caution doesn't come out for him, and he has to just kind of limp his car to his, 14th place finish. Truth Hoke, unfortunately, times out. Jason Bottoms times out. Trevor Woodward is out of this race early. And, of course, Noah Tansman was tonight's race control. Alan, it was a great to run this race with you tonight. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday for the Racers Elite Series. And I'm looking forward to Thursday when I'm behind the wheel at Watkins Glen for the Racers Elite Series.
You and me both, buddy.
So all
you and me both.
And so all that can be said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for being here. To Andrew Teft, who runs an amazing league, and the rest of the admins and drivers for this series, thank you for being here week in and week out, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and for all the single events that we're able to help cover, as well as the fans. Thank you as well. And as you walk through life, folks, please don't play in traffic, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.